As I'm getting ready to film this video, I am saying goodbye to someone who came to visit this weekend. Da 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 da. Oh, the lighting isn't great, but we're fine. So what you been up to? How's life?
School. It's good. I might start nursing 101 soon. But I need a break. But it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah. She's graduating, like, her plan is to graduate by next year, which is so quick because she got all these college credits when she was in high school because you're so smart. So smart. I don't think they've seen the really cute picture of us at your graduation. I might post that.
Yeah, it's really
That's
cute.
so cute. She was all decked out. You were sparkly. You had the jewelry.
I had everything.
You had, yes, everything on point. Your shoes were killing you.
Definitely.
Yeah. But they were cute.
That was one of my baby's mama.
Aww.
She told me to work there. I was like, I'm on the way. I'm gonna be there.
She was showing all these pictures and videos of her little babies at daycare.
Yes. I love my baby so much.
They're so cute. They got personality.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she came up for the weekend. We went to Darcy's music performance, which was funny.
Yes, it was so funny.
She had a
Darcy
solo.
She was really into it.
She had the moves. She was feeling herself.
She was into it.
But yeah, so she's gonna go. But she's been driving. I don't even think I've updated them on that.
Yep.
Driving now, so she drove herself all the way here. 45 minutes in all.
And I will be back.
Yes, you will.
I will be back.
Yes. All right. Well, you should probably get to work. Get out of here. Okay, so Ariana headed out. She was on her way to work, but it was really great for her to spend the weekend here. We stayed up a couple of nights pretty late just catching up on what's been happening. And even though we have had some text here and there, you know, on some of the bigger things, this was the first time that she's been able to visit for like 4 months. She's been super busy with her personal life, work, school, all those things. And I've been busy, like I've been up to a lot of really cool things. So it really did feel great to have her back. And it's actually perfect because last night our conversation kind of turned into a little bit about what I'm gonna talk about in this video. And that is, how can you as a foster caregiver really be in tune and understand the emotional needs of the kids that are coming into your care. So I wanted to speak from my experience on what I've seen works and doesn't work. And again, these videos are really meant to just get you thinking, reflecting, and start the conversation. Be sure to add your thoughts and your experiences in the chat, in the comments, because this is really where we come together as a community to create a safe and loving home for these kids while they're in our care. And before I go into like the characteristics and tips and all of that on this topic, I wanna say a common struggle with foster care right now, like the system as a whole, is that we say that caseworkers, agencies, counties, they are really struggling to find families and homes who are going to become foster parents. Recruiting new foster parents and retaining the good, successful foster parents is always like the hot topic. And when it comes to recruitment, this is something like I think about a lot, like probably an unhealthy amount of time, just because I've built trainings for child welfare. I volunteer and I'm on a leadership team of a nonprofit who deals with child welfare. Like I'm very ingrained and like immersed in this world. So it comes up a lot for me. And what I always find curious is that the recruitment of foster parents and like what makes a successful person a foster parent and how do we train them to be like, to have the right skill sets. Honestly, my take is that some of these things you either have or you don't have. These are traits that it would take a lot of work, like a lot of self-development, self-reflection, and practice to really exercise. And I say all of that because as a foster parent, having empathy and compassion, I think is like key. It is key to exhibit this not only for the child, but also their family, their primary family, their biological parents, their biological family, the family that they've come from. That empathy and compassion is really going to support them in getting to the point where they can, heal and make the necessary changes to reunify their family. So when a child is in your home, having that level of empathy and understanding, putting yourself in their shoes, really taking a step back and saying, okay, I'm really clear on what I'm experiencing, what I think, what I feel. Take all of that away and just be open to hearing and observing what's going on for that child. Having compassion for some of those really, tough situations, tough behaviors, showing that level of compassion and understanding for it, that supports the child in feeling safe and feeling as though there isn't any judgment. Another thing is active listening. And it seems so obvious, yes, if a child is expressing what they're going through, pay attention. This is a skill you can practice. I'm not really sure empathy and compassion, that's gonna take some deeper work, but active listening, be in the practice of being present, really taking in a person, limiting any distractions that you have, and really sitting with the child and hearing them out. It takes validating their experience, validating their feelings, even if you don't fully comprehend it. You don't have to understand. You actually don't have to understand. But that level of validating what they're experiencing helps to build trust. And on the topic of trust, keep your promises, every single one, the small ones. I ran into this early on where it's easy to get excited about something and say, hey, we're gonna do this tomorrow, or hey, this is what we're having for dinner. Not related to anything trauma, we're talking about everyday activities. Any time that I found that I would make a promise or set an expectation for a child and then the plan changed and it was oh, actually, we're not gonna order pizza, we're gonna be doing this because we have leftovers. It seems so small, but with kids who are experiencing foster care, keeping those promises, setting an expectation and following through is huge, absolutely huge. And foster caregivers, in our everyday, life happens, there's shifts, but that stability and reliability, and for them to know that you are your word, that what you say is the truth, that is gonna consistently build trust. And it is absolutely the foundation of a healthy child caregiver relationship. And this is why it's actually interesting that Miss A, Ariana, and I were up late last night and, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Life is happening for all the kids who have come in and out of my home. And I asked if it was okay for me to share this with all of you. And she said, of course, yeah, no problem. She definitely trusts me in what I'm able to share. So she shared that she was really looking forward to coming back and that she had forgotten just how kind of peaceful and safe and judgment-free this home is, and how she can open up and talk to me and know that I care about her. I'm not gonna judge her for any choices or what's happening in life, that she can express herself in a safe space. And I have to say, because I foster teens, that is one of the biggest compliments that I can receive. And I'm not going to necessarily hear that, and you're not necessarily going to hear that from every child who comes in and out of your care. But having that validation, it was just really good to hear. And, just accept that, yes, I can create a safe space for kids. And with teens, you might hear that a little bit more. You'll be able to tell when you've built that level of trust and care, because they will start to open up. They're going to tell you the embarrassing things. They're going to tell you the tough things. With younger kids, it might look a little bit different. And I'm interested in all of your experiences. So with younger kids, it's going to look a little bit different. And I would suspect that it's probably more the hugging, that physical touch, because, I think we're humans. And so we crave that across the board at every age. But I see with teenagers, they're a little bit more resistant, with that. But whenever I've had school age children, it is watching a movie and they're cuddled up next to you. They want to feel that physical closeness. So if you're creating a safe and trusted and open space, and they feel like you understand their emotional needs and what they're experiencing, it's going to show in those behaviors. Something else that goes along with the validation of a child's experiences and feelings is really that affirmation. So giving them the affirmation that, you know, it takes courage to share what's coming up for them, to have gone through whatever their story is. Like really find those moments where you can affirm them and you can build them up and you can really hold a mirror to them on how beautiful and resilient, and filling them up with words that, you know, they might not necessarily be feeling in those moments. Because, you know, I've heard a lot from kids who have experienced foster care, you know, youth who are now grown up and they're sharing their experiences, and it takes a huge mental toll on them. So creating a space in your home while they're temporarily with you, where they can feel open, trusted, their emotional well-being is being cared for. It is as important as their physical well-being. I'll also mention how important cultural sensitivity is. Emotional expression or coping mechanisms could show up differently. And so just be present and mindful to, you know, taking each child for who they are, for who their family is, just a level of respect for where they are coming from, and not assuming that it should look a certain way because, you know, oh, well, the last kid who was here, they did XYZ and this child is not doing it. Really treating each placement as an individual, not holding them to some kind of a standard. And finally, you know, I think it's also important to know when to seek professional help, when to enlist the support of the caseworker, therapist, you know, mental health professionals, depending on what the specific needs of the child are. Reach out to them and see, okay, hey, I'm having trouble connecting. I feel like there's a barrier. This child's been here for, you know, 2 months and they haven't really opened up. And then they can kind of help guide you. They can give you articles, resources to support you in your journey, because maybe it is going to take a child 6 months, a year, who knows? It is their story, it's their experience. They are a unique individual, and those professionals are going to be able to be a sounding board for you. So it is not any slight against you if you can't create it on your own. Like, reach out for support. So that's a little bit about my experience and, you know, my tips on what to look for to successfully be there for the emotional well-being of children who are coming to stay with you. And again, I encourage you to drop in the comments what your experience has been, what works, what doesn't work, and start that conversation. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure you like and subscribe and that your notifications are on. Videos are going to be posted every Tuesday. See you next time.